Hi, I'm Kim.
I'm Hayden.
I'm Brad.
We're 626 Ohana, California, and today we are checking out Walt Disney's sites around Los Angeles.
Yeah, so we're going to take you around some of the sites that you can go visit for free and just kind of check out what's around Los Angeles. Unfortunately, with the parks closed,
it may not be the same, but we're going to show you where these locations are, and if you're looking for something else to do besides a park day or the parks aren't open and you're missing Disney just like us.
So please like, subscribe,
and follow along with our Ohana.
and we'll give you any tips and tricks we find along the way. Let's get going.
Okay, first spot we are is at Griffith Park. We're gonna go see the merry-go-round. It is closed, but we're gonna show you where it is. And this is the place that Disney spent with his daughters on Daddy Day.
It's actually the area that he came up with the idea for Disneyland.
So that's kind of cool. So we're gonna check out what we can.
All right, let's go.
So this was built in 1926. This was brought to Griffith Park in 1937. And this is where Walt would bring his daughters on Sundays. So it looks like you can actually have a birthday party or something here. That'd be a cool party for a youngin'. Oh, look how beautiful.
Even when the courses has a mask on.
Social distancing. As you can see, we just went to the merry-go-round to check it out. It's still closed.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're waiting okay from Los Angeles Parks and Recreation to open, and they have to follow their rules and guidelines. Interesting fact that it is privately owned. It's not owned by the city of Los Angeles.
And we met the owner, Julio, and he was just kind of in the other side of the fence talking to him. Very nice man. And he was telling us that he's using his time to work on restoration and doing the best he can to open back up. Yeah. Very nice, very nice.
Very nice, and it was actually interesting. He told us the only things that have really changed since when Walt was here was the fencing around it and the other fencing that's kind of you see in between the merry-go-round and that, and the benches were once there.
And really, just to look at the artwork and the horses and we could see is just gorgeous. And we definitely are coming back here some point when it's open. And he told us that we could tell if it's open is if you drive up and the big organ is playing.
So if you hear organ music, you're good to go. Okay.
All right, Hayden, what do you think?
I think it's really cool looking.
Do you want to come back and ride it someday? Yeah. So we're definitely coming back here.
Okay, so let's go to our next destination.
All
so
right.
just a quick side note, if you are in the area, this is called Travel Town. And you know Walt's love of trains. Well, there's a whole bunch of them out here if you look around.
And we're at Griffith Park, Travel Town.
So it's a cool area. Unfortunately, it's again closed right now, but when it's open, come check it out. We've been here a few times and it's been a lot of fun.
So we're gonna see if we can still find the Carrollwood Barn, but I think with everything closed, we may be out of luck. So you can drive by the barn, which is right now going by. Hello, barn. Side view. All right, that was the barn. Okay, so what we've learned is we should have started out at Travel Town, gone to the merry-go-round, and then we're going over to Los Feliz, and we're going to show you some sights over there.
It's actually not Travel Town. Travel Town will take you to the big trains. It's actually the railroad museums where Walt's barn's at. So
we wanted to go over towards the railroad museum and then go back over to Los Feliz, but so that's the recommended route if you're going to do this. So we learned for you. All right.
Also, thing to realize, Griffith Park is a huge park.
It is. It's massive. There's a lot of bike trails, people out walking. It was actually nice to get some sunshine today and a little exercise after all this stuff going on in the world. The Autry Museum and the LA Zoo, you could also make a day out of doing the Disney and a half day at like the museum or at the LA Zoo. So here's the Autry Museum. And to this side, I don't know if you guys can see, sorry. This way is the LA Zoo. Okay, we're at 4409 Kingsman Road in Los Feliz, and this is the house that Walt Disney and Roy Disney moved to 2 years after the other house. So some cool Disney history. It is privately owned. And then across here at 4406 is the place where Walt Disney and Roy Disney had their first Disney studios, and this is where the ideas were born. So that's kind of cool. It is under construction, which is, yikes, scary, but it looks like it would have been a really cool house back then. So hopefully they're preserving it or doing something, because it was being looked at for the Historical Society. So hopefully that house will be preserved, because it's beautiful. So not a lot to look at, but a lot of history on the street in Los Feliz. So right here is 4687, and this was where Walt and Lillian had a first apartment. All right, so this is 2495 Lyric Avenue, and sorry, this was the house that Walt bought in 1927 after success of Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Right next door is where Roy Disney had bought a matching house. So pretty cool. It's a beautiful home. Back on Kingswell Street is Extra Coffee that used to be Disney's Brother Studios. As you can see, there is a Mickey in the window. And then a little sign says, look, first Walt Disney Studio 1923. So I'm not quite gonna peek in because nobody's really here. And they have a little montage of Extra Mickey Studios. And Disney's first home, kind of some of the area. So it's cool. So here's your homage wall. Walt Disney's first studio. I can't believe I'm actually standing in here. Oh. Okay, right here, there's a little mural. This is a cool place. Walt Disney Brothers' first studio. Very cool. And down the street was Walt's houses. So this is a Hollywood Tower, and not this Walt Disney per se, but this was an inspiration for the Tower of Terror.
Welcome to Hollywood Boulevard.
Yep, Hollywood Boulevard. Woohoo! The White Cafe. Theater. Another
We'll go back there.
what's it called? Inspiration for Tower of Terror. I like that Universal did that. Okay, so we're going by the Hollywood Bowl, kind of where you go as if, you know, you want to go see. They've done some Disney sing-alongs or music or things like that at the Hollywood Bowl.
The Beauty Beast theater is based on the Hollywood Bowl.
Okay, so we're coming up on the Tam O'Shanter, which was one of Walt's favorite restaurants. Actually called it the Disney Commissary.
That you would ask for table 31.
Yeah. Table 31 was Walt's favorite. Okay, we're gonna go back to studios. So there's a Tam O'Shanter. We've eaten there before, and I guess right now it says they're taking reservations only, no walk-ins. So it's been in existence since 1922. And we've eaten there a few times. We've never actually eaten at Table 31. That's a bucket list item. So we're coming up on Buena Vista Street, which is where the Disney studios are in Burbank. This is kind of the freeway view because you can't really drive too much in front of it because of the freeways here. So Animation Studios, where so many of our favorite films are produced, and rides. ABC Studios is right next door. I don't know if you guys are gonna get better views of stuff this way. Oh, nope, there's ABC Studios. So we're gonna drive around where we can. So if you look on the fence over here, along here, there's some hidden Mickeys. That's kind of cool. Somehow I think you guys can see better when I do this. Yes, I am.
It's all Disney down here and on the other side.
And this is part of Disney Studios.
The gates.
Oh, look at the signs as we go by. If you can see the signs, they have little Mickeys on them. Oh, the Mickey Water Tower. Bummer, you can't see anything good over here. The back side of the studios.
What's this? That's supposed to be like backside of water?
Exactly. And a Mickey fencing. That'd be kind of cool. I want fencing like that at our house. Oh, we're coming across the main gate of Disney. Oh, I want to work there. Here, so right, literally across the street from the studios is Providence St. Joseph's Medical Center, and that is the hospital where Walt Disney sadly passed away. Across the street from his beloved studios. Alright, but back to Happy. Here's the studios. Alright, we've done a full circle of studios. The back entrance, Buena Vista.
Okay, closed.
Closed. Well, there's no filming right now, so that's kind of a thing. That's backside ABC Studios too. Alright, so we've got some more studios to check out. Alright, so this is the Walt Disney Imagineering. This is the WED company that makes up Walt Elias Disney for the initials. And this was his other, like, they came up with Disney attraction ideas here and things like that. So this is Mickey of Glendale. I've heard they've had tours here, and once in a while they will open up their shop and Imagineering merchandise public could buy. That would be kind of cool. I'm actually hoping that somehow we could find a way to get a tour or get to go in that shop. So we'll keep in contact for that. But that's here. It's right in Flower, kind of on the border of Glendale and Burbank. Okay, so this is a Glendale Grand Central campus. There actually used to be an airport there, which is kind of cool. It was decommissioned back in the 50s. So we're going to take a drive around in the car and take a look at the Grand Central. Maybe we'll get out and see if we can't walk around a little place. Of course, we're always going to respect Disney's boundaries and things like that. Central Grand Business Center. And if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know it's Disney. Except for the fact is, you can see the buildings right here, is they kind of have the Disney name tag outlines. And it's actually on Grand Central is the actual official. So it's actually on this side of the street and this side. So there's a shuttle stop here. Cool thing about Disney is they have their own internal shuttles for people that work here that will take them from like the Burbank to Pasadena to different campuses so that they don't have to drive themselves. So the Grand Central Air Terminal is where they used to actually have planes take off from here. Back over there you can see the Grand Central Air Terminal. They kind of have a plane and signage over there. So the air terminal was built in 1930 by Henry Gogarty. It's a pretty cool looking old building. Actually, if you look at that tower in a way, it kind of reminds me of Cathay Circle. This was the home airport of Amelia Earhart, which is kind of cool.
Home airport?
Home. This is where she kept her planes, apparently. And you had Charles Lindbergh flew out of here. Howard Hughes used this as his home base. And also, what was the last one? Laura Ingalls. So really cool history here. And it was preserved and considered a historical site. So that's amazing. People flew out of here, and the history this had for its time is incredible. So that's awesome, and that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm actually going to tell you some stories. One of the stories was my grandfather used to work out of here, out of kind of like this general city, and he used to do a tool and eye company, and he actually got to know Walt Disney from eating at a restaurant. And they used to have tables next to each other, and their tables and companies would play jokes on each other. And because of that, my grandfather built play toy pianos for Walt Disney Company. Unfortunately, nobody in my family has one of them left because they all thought it was, you know, nobody preserved that history with Disney. And nobody can remember the name of the restaurant they played jokes on, but I remember my grandmother telling me this. My grandfather became good friends with some Disney animators. So that's kind of our connection to Disney a little bit. It's kind of cool.
And there's a little bit more connection here too.
Yeah.
Is that her grandfather also worked for Howard Hughes.
Yeah, so he had a contract with Howard Hughes Company for a while, so that's a little Howard Hughes history. I've got more stories and interesting facts if you guys would be interested in a video around my grandfather. In a way, it's a little off topic for us. We actually have some really cool NASA historical pieces and things like that that my grandfather had from time working. So those historical facts I have.
Okay, so we finished our day. Unfortunately, you may have seen the camera real close to my face because I was driving a lot. As far as driving, I wish we would have organized it a little bit better. Yeah. But other than that, it was kind of interesting to see these places that are kind of not seen. You would not know they're there unless you've looked
Did your
them up.
research.
Yeah.
And so I'll put the addresses of places that we went by in the links or down below so you guys will know kind of the driving tour that we took.
And then there's some things that we did drive by, and we'll show you now. We drove by the Pantages Theater and also the Chinese Grauman Theater. And what else did we go by?
Oh, Frankenmuse's.
Frankenmuse's, and also the Magic.
Oh, the Magic Castle.
Magic
so those
Castle.
are little extra things.
That if you have time, you can do if you're down in Hollywood Boulevard area and all that. We were kind of jumping around where we're going, but if you were trying to just do Disney, you probably do a lot more.
Yeah, and the fun thing is you could really, you could go have lunch at the Tam O'Shanter, or you could go to Snow White's castle if you're walking around and trying to do the Hollywood Boulevard walking tour of everything we did.
And Tam O'Shanter is actually really neat to go inside.
Yeah.
The
Good food.
Yeah, we've been there quite a few times.
Yeah.
So other than that, I think we had a fun day. It was a little bit of an unconventional day, and right now you'll notice we're not wearing masks, but there is nobody not around us right now.
We haven't seen a single person walk down this whole street.
So we're definitely socially distancing. We're going to end our day and say,
Find your magic.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.